Welcome, welcome.
Yo, yo.
Hello, everybody in the KW community out there. My name's Joe McHugh, and I'm here with my co-host, as always, Evan Ransom. Evan, you want to say hi?
What's up? I'm hoping that you can hear me right now. We have no idea. They've actually been instructed to know that I am, in fact, muted and just pretend like they understand what I'm saying in this wonderful internet world that I'm in.
Evan is having internet connectivity issues today, so we will work past that. And Dave, and I've already forgotten how to pronounce your last name within that 30 seconds.
Gironda.
It totally just left my head. I was like, oh crap, where'd it go? Anyway, Dave here from Los Angeles. David, Davey, whatever we want to call him.
Whatever we want to call him.
From Los Angeles, Santa Monica area to talk tech with us today. Welcome, Dave.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was the Market Center Tech Trainer out here at KW Santa Monica, and I come from like a long tech background. So I'm new to real estate. I'm kind of learning all the stuff and how this all kind of fits in. But I found some pretty cool, nifty tricks with Command and like how to make the automation work a little bit better than just like a salesy sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's the topic that we have here is humanizing, right?
Right.
And ultimately, we want to connect with people. That's the entire point. And if we can't make smart plans do that, then what's the point of even running them, right? So So I think you got some screens to share. You got some stuff to do. So let's pop that up and let's dive right in. Unless Evan, you have anything you want to try and say.
Cut in with, yeah.
I muted him. I did that on purpose.
Nice.
I do like that, though. What does Evan want to try to say today, possibly? But no, I actually really am very passionate about this topic, so I'm really excited that when Dave sent in kind of like what he had been working on or what he's been doing, I was super excited to have him on. So Dave, thank you, big time for coming on and showing this off. Because this is awesome. This is one of the coolest things.
So I have three basic rules with Command. First is be you. Don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to wow anybody. Just be you. If people want to buy from someone, they want to buy from you. So be you. That's my number one rule. The second one is, how like you give your business card to somebody and it's something tactile and they like have it and they trust it and they got it. You need to do the same thing with computers. So if you create a V card with your contact information in it, right, because you want people to contact you, but also include your Twilio number and then your command mailer.kw.com ADDI that comes out from the smart plans. That way, when you send that V card to somebody, it's like giving the computer that business card and the computer goes like, oh, I know who this is. This is somebody that I know and trust. So always do this. And then the third thing is, test on yourself. Don't send anything out to anybody without sending it to yourself first. So those are my three, like you have to do these rules before using Command, period, end of story. Wait.
Don't bring that back because that's awesome.
We're moving on.
So be you, obviously straightforward, right? I mean, I spent years trying to beat Gary Keller and that just didn't work out for me, right? I was shooting too high. With that, but no, and you're 100% right. Be your authentic self, right? And how do you get that to come across in smart plans? But that point too, I absolutely loved with make it easy for them, make it easy for you to get in contact with them is essentially what you're doing with this information. I love that.
Well, you're also you're not only getting in contact with them, you're getting in contact with their systems, right? Like their phone, their email systems, their everything, right? So like when they get that Twilio text that always has that like to opt out, blah, 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 right? The first thing most people do when they see that, they don't even look at the text message, right? They just see a random number and that disclaimer and they go, stop.
Yeah.
But so, if Dave's name on it, and I know Dave, I'm more likely to kind of go, hold on a moment before I do anything. I love that because we hear this a lot as MCTTs, especially the digital business card, the virtual business card. And Dave, I love that you have this because it's a V card. It's just your contact. that you can share very, very easily. And like Dave's saying, I think that analogy is perfect. It introduces you to their systems, because their systems are where they're going to connect with you on. That's how they're going to find you. That's how they're going to talk to you. And getting their computer to go ahead and trust you is the best way to make sure that you break a lot of those barriers.
Absolutely. And especially this mailer.kw.com Addy. Here, let me throw up what it looks like when it comes out, right?
How do agents find that, I guess, is the question. Like, how would they discover what that is?
Send yourself an email. That is the best way to do it, right? Add yourself to a smart plan and see what that looks like. 'Cause that's where you're going to find this. And I think it's always like agent and then your quid, right?
Okay.
At mailer.kw.com. I could be wrong on that, but
I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that was the same every time. I always thought it was random.
Yep. I always talk to agents to go back, because your replies to the emails also come to you. So here's the thing. It should be in your address book too, if you want to get those replies.
Yes, absolutely. I didn't think about trusting it yourself too, but yeah, that way it doesn't hit your spam, right?
And Dave, you got this film noir thing going on right now. You just went black and white on us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think that's just you, man.
I look in color. I'm
really? I'm seeing on the
Joe. I'm the one with internet issues today. That's my thing. You take my thing.
I mean, I'll take the noir thing. I love it. I'll do this all as like a hard-boiled detective from here on out, if that's cool.
It's funny.
That'd be really.
My screen, you're black and white. I'm looking at the live stream, and you're fully in color. So now I feel like an idiot. Anyway, moving on. Enough time spent there. Kelly Cody says it's not your KWUID, so don't listen.
Oh, it isn't. Okay, so yeah, do not listen to me on that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it is the same every single time.
Yes.
That I do know for a fact. I don't know where that number comes from, so I'd be curious if somebody actually does know that.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
Well, we do have Kelly in the chat. If there's anybody who knows, it would be Kelly Cody.
Yeah.
So if Kelly, if you have that wisdom, feel free to share. If not, we can. I mean, the idea. I think we get the idea.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on.
So the smart plan tricks that I'm going to kind of talk about here, I have two of them. One is the fixed misspelling. I really like this one because people send out misspellings all the time. And if you send out texts that are perfect every single time, people are going to sense something's off, right? So I like to send out a wrong text and then immediately fix it by linking it to another smart plan. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to create a smart plan. We're just going to call this one test 2. Why not? I know I could get clever with names, but I don't care in tests. So we're just going to send a SMS out, right? And we're going to say, hey, congrats on your listing. We will be sending out an email soon with your listing calendar. And we could even put in a merge field here if we wanted, right? Hey, first name, congrats on your listing. I did that on purpose. People over there are probably cringing, but we're going to go ahead and save this.
I'm cringing a little bit.
Yeah. And then we're going to create another smart plan called Fix Your. And all we're going to do is send out another SMS message that says your. Everybody does this, right? You misspell something and then you immediately send back the correct spelling with an asterisk next to it. It makes you feel like you're talking to a human. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I agree. Dave, let me ask you a question. Is there a reason that you're not putting the your directly after in the same message? Like you made a new plan to put the your and fix your in. Is that because you're just going to reuse the fix your all the time and you do this commonly, or is
so? This might have been fixed, but you cannot send more than one SMS per day in the same smart plan.
Oh, well, there we go. That answers my question straight away.
So you're kind of cheating the system here a little bit.
I'm absolutely cheating the system. And in fact, I'm sure KWR people are looking at this right now being like, oh, we need to fix that. please don't fix this.
No, well, and you know what's so funny? You pay good money. There's a company out there, YLopo. I don't know if you're familiar with them. You pay good money for them to actually build their equivalent of smart plans that do exactly this. It sends a text message and immediately sends another one that says, let me know, right? That's a common text is you say, hey, would you like to go look at properties this weekend? And then immediately send another text that says, let me know. Mm-hmm. And that second text actually can get a higher response rate because it's more human.
Oh,
and, yeah.
100%, right? My wife doesn't send me one text. She sends me like 10 texts of one sentence, right? Like my friends would geek about Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and we have like 30 text messages in our chain. Like nobody just sends one long thing and then they're like, I'm good. Everybody sends part of a thought, and then they send another part of a thought, and then another part of a thought.
Well, you have that one friend. We're
definitely going to have my wife watch this show because she complains that I text like that. Because I do that all the time, just like chain of thought, and I'll shoot out like 15 messages, and she'd be like, "Can you just not write one message?"
No, nobody can.
So I'm glad to know I'm not the weird one here. Okay, good. There we go.
No, the weird one is the computer that sends the perfect text.
Yeah.
Well thought out, super professional at all times.
Exactly.
Never dropping the facade.
So this is one of my like quick and easy ways to just send out a fix to just make it seem more human, right? Like especially if they get that little disclaimer text in the beginning that says press stop, whatever, and then they see this and then they get a fix, they're gonna be like, wait, maybe it's not a computer, maybe he's sending through some service through his computer or something, right? So you'd be amazed how much this makes it feel like they're not talking to a computer. So in this case, we're still going to go along with this chain of going down like this listing calendar, right? And we've kind of built out these really cool listing calendars on our website that show like all the important dates for them so that everybody's just kind of on the same page. I'm not going to go through that too much. But when we do send those out, we have to like copy and paste them and send them to everybody every single time. I'd rather just add that tag to the smart plan and have it send them that link every single time, and it's always going to be their link. So I use the merge field tags to kind of create what's known as a variable. Here we go, nerd time. So a variable is basically just saying, hey, we're going to take this phrase and we're going to put this bit of information in that phrase, so we can use this phrase just over and over and over again, and the bit of information can change that phrase. I hope that makes sense. I tried really hard explaining it to Rubber Duck, and I don't think
so wait, let's take
what's
one
that
step
look
back.
like? Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was gonna say we're kind of on a new topic now, right? So,
yes.
So we kind of had no transition there. I know not everybody who watches these are high level, so no, that's the wrong way of putting it. We have different levels of text savviness in our viewership.
John, I don't know about you, but I walk around the office every day saying variable and scalar.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So we're no longer talking about the text. We've moved on from the text. We've now convinced them that we are a real person and this is not an automated system. We've done that. Now what are we doing? What's our goal with what we're doing?
So our goal right now is to be able to send out an email that sends somebody a link, and we can change that link on our back end like anytime we want, and we never have to change anything on the smart plan end.
Okay.
So basically, we've set the smart plan up to always send out the right information, and then we can just change out what that information is somewhere else.
Gotcha.
So this link that we send out to the client is always going to be of this type, like that's the variable that we're putting in place. But where the link goes is what we set up on the back end. Man, this is not going as well as I thought it would when I was explaining it to people earlier.
I think, Dave, I think it's going to click when we see it in practice and what the application of this looks like. Because I mean, fancy words aside, guys, we're all here to do the same thing, right?
Exactly.
We're all here to be more human. So how do I do this, and how does this make me more human?
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a send email here with a link, right? And this link, I want to be able to control the link, but I don't want to have to edit the smart plan every single time and update it with a new link, especially since the link is going to be dependent on whose listing it is, right? And this is just one example of how you can use this. This is how I've used it before. So I'll just say congrats on your listing, right? And then I'll do my hey, first name. Congrats on your listing. We've went ahead and created a listing calendar for you to see all the important dates and showings that are coming up.
There we go.
Cool. So then
I'm your seller, and I'm loving this already.
I'm gonna do something fun here. And I just right now have it linked to one of my favorite blogs, Wait But Why. But you can see this URL, bit.ly/ last name dash, and this isn't my real birthday, but birthday, right? And what I'm trying to do is create a unique link that is specific to my listing, right, client, and I'm gonna send that to them. So we're gonna do.
Dave, if you want to show your birthday too, like any, like mother's maiden name, anything else that we can throw in.
Yeah, you guys want my social?
Favorite or pet growing up, any of those.
My last things, 4 addresses I've lived at. Yeah. That's why I don't put this stuff online. So we can use these merge field tags to always create these links. So if I send this out to you, Evan, it would be ransom dash your birthday, right? If I send this out to you, Joe, it would be McHugh dash your birthday. So it's unique every single time, right? The fact that you're going to have somebody with the same last name and the same birthday to send a link out to in your contacts list is going to be pretty slim. In fact, you can even go further and just use their first name dash last name dash birthday, or even their phone number, right? You can use any of these merge field tags to always create this link, so you don't have to keep doing it in the smart plan and changing it every single time. All you have to do is create a bit.ly with that information in it.
So before you put people on this plan, you're going to bit.ly and you're making these link shorteners already, or is it being generated due to something?
So I do manually go into bit.ly, and I would go here and I'd go to like create, right? And I would grab, let's just grab this Wikipedia article, right? So this is the calendar I'm gonna be sending it to. And this customized back half, if I were sending this to you, I'd say ransom dash, we'll just do 1990-01 because I'm lazy. Unless you want to tell me your birthday, your mom's maiden name, your last four digits of your social
street
security.
that I grew up on.
Street, the high school you went to.
Favorite teacher, all that good stuff. I'll send out to you in an email here in a little bit.
Perfect.
I'm gonna give you all my passwords in plain text. I'm just gonna put that in attachment. If you want that,
If you could just take a photo of the sticky note you have all your passwords written on.
We're getting way out of hand with this one.
I know. I'm sorry. Network security is a big fun topic of mine. So if you were a contact in my command database, right, and I had your last name, right, and your birthday, I'm done. All I have to do is add you to the smart plan now, and it's going to send you this link to click on, and it'll take you to this awesome Wikipedia article. But I could have it be anything. I could have it be a calendar. I could have it be a cloud CMA. I could have it be a file that I've uploaded to my Google Drive. It could be anything.
Because this is saving you a lot of time in the long run too.
Absolutely, right? Because I don't have to go through the smart plan and change it every single time with the new link, right?
Mhm.
It's done. All I do is once I get the new listing, I just add them to the smart plan, and then I just have to make sure part of my checklist is to create the Bitly link that the smart plan goes to. And I'll even show you here. Nope, that's Google Analytics. We don't want to learn about that. Where did it go? Oh, it's over here. Multiple monitors. So this one sent out, hey, got a cool link for your listing paperwork here, right? And if I click on this was completely generated by a smart plan. It took that last name dash birth date and created a link, right? Because this looks like a link, right?
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
it has contact name.
Google's like me on my receiving end. It's formatting as a link because that's the information it got. That's what merged in. And my computer, my email thing I'm checking, it's making it a link for me. So it's actually really doing the work for you. Like it's just making it happen. So I'm gonna get it as a link. My computer's gonna go, oh, this is a link no matter what, even though he didn't actually really put a link in that mail at all.
Right. So if I click this, it's going to take me to Wait.y, right? Because that's what I have Bitly do.
And this is how Dave gets busy. He sends everybody to Wait.y.
Yeah, I mean, I get ad revenue from him. No, I don't. No, it's a great blog. I was reading it the other day when I was creating this presentation. And I was like, you know what? Instead of like pointing people to things, I'm just gonna send them this.
Well, and so, you know, what I was thinking about this is let's say we're doing internet follow-up, right? Let's say we're doing lead follow-up, and we want to let me think of how to say this. We want to validate contact. We want to validate the person, right? And see, like, so a common thing that at least you used to have with internet lead generation is you get the initial lead, and then you'd say, oh, hey, I want to know, you want to download my relocation guide, right? So just walk me through this, because I think this is possible. I could actually get a form, a Google form of, and actually set it up as a pre-fill, but replace the pre-fill with the merge tags of emails and name and that fun stuff. So now they're actually going to be in the process, taken to a form that's partially filled out already for them to request this additional information. I'm also thinking that there are some systems that if you send a piece of information along with it, it'll track, not that person went there, maybe how much they viewed, how far in the process they got. So in theory, you could also start sending that information. Like, my brain's just turning now. I'm probably confusing a bunch of people. I apologize.
No,
I
totally understand what you're saying, right? Like, if you, and I know I'm getting like super techie nerdy right now.
But that's what we're here to do, guys.
Yeah. If you have a webhook of a form or something that takes in like www.joemchugh.com/form ? Their name %, their name %, unit, and have it autofill based off of what the link is in here. Man, I hope this is making sense.
It's making sense to me.
Right.
I don't care about anybody else at this point, right? It's making sense to me.
But you could save a lot of time, and it's what I tell every agent here. Like, command can turn hours of work into seconds, but it takes minutes of setup.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about putting that work in the front end. Especially anytime you want to take advantage of automation, that's the case. I do want to get to a quick question. We had somebody ask if Bitly was free.
Bitly is free. I know you can pay to like get more functionality and tracking and stuff. There's also another service called Rebrandly. With them, you can even use like custom domains. So you can even use your. Yeah.
I love Rebrandly.
You could use your own domain. You could do like joemchugh.com / right? Like, you could do, so it looks like it's coming from you, period, end of story.
Yep. I like that because especially some companies like T-Mobile block the Bitly link if it's in the first email or second email. So using non-generic domains sometimes helps with that, right? Because they're not gonna block that. It looks less markety-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Rebrandly.
And I mean, that's essentially what we're trying to do here, right? Like we're trying to not be robots, but let the robot do the work.
Right. Right.
And I mean, sure, it's probably in an ethical gray area of like kind of disguising yourself as not a robot, but whatever, man.
I love it. Well, do we have any other questions that we wanted to get to on there? Dave, is there anything else that someone said that, believing that's the same person says thank you.
You're welcome.
And anything else that we want to cover with this, or any other hot insights, hot takes?
I mean, that's this here is like my one big thing, right? That's what I like spend a lot of time trying to figure out, perfect, and get the best way to do it. But yeah, just be you. In fact, sometimes get rid of that, right? When I text my friends, I don't say, "Hey, Jamie," right? I say, "Hey."
I love this, and I love that we're doing this, because the big thing for me with automation is I feel like a lot of people miss that aspect of being human with it, because we want to program our perfect selves, right, into these things, and more often than not, what's more realistic and what more people are going to connect with is the real you, right? Which is exactly why they're in business with you to begin with, right? They're in business because you're in relationship with them. Now, is this going to be the same for everybody? No, absolutely not. Some people's brand is on that being perfect on all fronts. But
right.
For those that have a more, and I don't want to use the word authentic, because I don't want to oppose the other side as being inauthentic.
A looser approach.
Yeah, a looser approach, or just a more, almost candorous type of approach.
You have to match,
to
right?
it.
If somebody meets you in person, you have to match that personality online, right? It can't be different. And when this is something I actually struggled with for years, because I'd be like, oh, that's a great email. Like, that's better than anything I wrote. But then it didn't match me at all. It wasn't who I was personality-wise. And people would get that when we would meet in person. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
As you said, that's number one.
Yeah.
That's why it's number one on here. Be you.
I'm just trying to trick you to pop this up again, because that was my favorite part.
I'll leave it up. But seriously, be you. Like there's nobody else like you, and that's the beauty of this industry, right?
Now, Dave, part two, and let me ask you this: is there any good way to get part two to a cold lead, or is this really only for people you know? Like, what do you do in that regard?
So in this case, these are listing agreements that we've had, right? So when we go into that meeting, we're handing this off to them. Cold leads and stuff, like I said, I'm a tech guy who kind of stumbled his way into real estate, so I'm learning all of that still. I haven't really tackled the cold lead yet. So, the more I learn, I hope to come on another day with some information on that.
This is really good these are really good tips for marketing to our Mets, right? This is good for marketing to our contacts.
Right.
It may not be perfect for, like what Dave's saying. I think what he's kind of getting at here is maybe don't do this for your Facebook lead gen plan, because I don't know how you can do the Bitly link with that, because that'd be pretty hard. But like for your regular touches with your Mets, I mean, this is all perfect.
Yeah.
Right. These are things that you can absolutely do, because you know this information, you've got it in command. All these things totally possible, totally doable. And for our Mets, that's who we want to be ourselves with, right?
I mean, for the non-Mets, you could do that form thing that Joe was kind of hinting at. I think that's a really good idea. Even like supply them with a download of the V card, right? Have that on a Google Drive public link, and just be like, hey, if you need to contact me, here's all of my information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we can't do it that kind of attachments in smart plans. It'd be cool if we could send this. Anybody from the tech team watching this, can we send V cards from a smart plan?
I believe the person asking about Billy, that was John McKenna.
Well, you could have your V card in a Google Drive public link and then just have that text out or email out, right? I mean, they have to open up the email or the text and click that link, but
yeah.
There.
We did have somebody ask, have you published any of your smart plans? Are any of these out there?
They are not. A lot of them are kind of very specific to what we're doing here, which is why I didn't show those ones and why I'm using the this weird assistant account as opposed to my actual account. Because there's a lot of secret sauce stuff in there that like wouldn't work for somebody else, and if they got a hold of it, they might just be more confused than helpful.
Well, I'm gonna hold Dave to it on this one, Dave. If you got one from the test account that you wouldn't mind sharing and publishing it, I will put a link into the comments later.
Okay, all right.
You can remove the secret sauce if
I'll
needed.
sanitize
I'll give you that grace for certain.
Yeah, they link to like WordPress calendars that I've created and
list of all his commonly answered security questions. That's mostly
password.
I can't stress how awesome that is the concept of passing that information, handing that information off is really, really cool. So again, we're going to talk next level here for a second, but if you have any system with some kind of webhook, you can use smart plans to get that out somehow, right? So whether it's a link that they click or choose to click, like that gets them there. And as long as wherever they're going knows what to do with that information, you can move it on. So it kind of opens up a world that it's not going to work with everything, but it does open up a bit of a world.
Yeah, and that's why I haven't published them, right? Because they work on the systems that we've built. So if I published it, they'd send out a link that goes to us, right?
Right.
And they can't just plug and play that because they have to set up a WordPress system to take all this information in. So that's why I'm like, I could publish it, but it's not going to work.
Yeah.
If you want to send us your leads, and then by all means, I'll publish them.
Yeah. My gears are turning. My gears are just,
Well, and that's
I almost want to get Dave back on like 2 weeks from now and just be like, hey, we thought about it more.
Please.
I'm going to be deep in like
this is so clever. The Bitly thing is just so unbelievably clever of tricking the computer into thinking it's a link into something and then just basically sending them whatever, further personalization that you can get. I love the idea of sharing the listing calendar with it. I think that's brilliant for a seller campaign. Because a lot of us do that already and we're having to go in and manually do it. But you basically set yourself up with 5 seconds of work that you put in there to set yourself up to have that be automated completely, saving you tons of time.
Oh, yeah. And you can do like super cool advanced things with calendars, especially Google calendars and like the app scripts. Like, it's all automated. It's insane.
You know what I love about this, Evan? It truly is one line of code.
Oh, goodness.
Dude, I will take that compliment. I will absolutely take that compliment. You just made my week, Joe.
That one was partially for Mr. John McKenna, who harasses me for that statement months ago about the lines of code. But I don't
think that's ever going to get lived down. I think the one line in code is forever memeified in labs culture for sure.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to do before we start breaking away on things is always ask yourself the question, would you open this email before you send an email out?
Yeah. I don't open any of my emails, so I'm the wrong person to ask that question to. But Evan, what do you think?
There's people that know me very well that know how unbelievably hyper opinionated I am on this topic and how much I hate generic content, generic marketing. I despise it. For all the good things eEdge had, the set it and forget it, I could not stand some of the content in there. And this is not a slamming on people that use eEdge by any means, because it has its uses. But if I get an email that comes to my inbox that says 5 ways to get wine stains out of your carpet, how to save money on laundry, I can't find the unsubscribe button fast enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, get this out of it. You could be Joe. You could be one of my closest friends, and I'd still be like, no, Joe, I'm not wanting any more of these. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and unsubscribe.
I was almost about to call this whole series one weird trick you can use with command, but
you can do it. You can do it.
It's I actually had a group back when we had, we shouldn't even mention it, the KW command group, or the KW Connect groups, right? When we were demoing that out, I called it command hacks, right? Chad Andrus knows of this. Right now, only Chad and I belong to this group. He loves it. Occasionally, he goes in there. And
you guys started a Facebook group with just you and Chad?
But it was basically, I was finding ways, and then I only ever invited Chad to see what I was finding of ways you could hack command by doing stuff like this. So I love this. This is right in that vein. Like mine was
in this group. This group, there's exclusivity here, and it feels like a cool kids club. There's 2 people in it. I can't think of anything more exclusive. How do I get into this group, Joe?
I will add you. I will 100% add you. Mine was I loved and I'm gonna geek out, guys. We're totally off topic now, so if you gotta go, you gotta go. I would use PySync, and I would basically, if I tagged somebody as sphere influence or past client, and rest in peace PySync, it would actually sync it with command. Like I had a command to command sync. I had to call them and require them to set up. That basically I had rules that said if I tagged it as sphere of influence or past client, it would put the appropriate DT-D2 tag on the contact automatically. Through that, it would say, "Oh, last name begins with H. You need this one. Last name what?" And it would do that all on its own. It was fantastic. Now, there's a fun little thing with PySync that you can tell them, "Hey, I want you to sync this even if I don't have an email address." Not recommended, because if for some reason the connection gets reset, it duplicated all of my contacts multiple times. So I had like 6 of every contact.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't they turn that off because people were unchecking that box for a while?
Yeah.
And getting the result of what happened.
It worked as long as Keller Williams didn't reset the connection with PySync, and they did that about 3 or 4 times on me, and I didn't realize it. So I had some duplicate contacts in there. It was not pretty.
Right on.
I love stuff like this. I'm geeking out.
Yeah, I love geeking out about this stuff too, right? Like, and this all came up from an agent who was like, I want to send a link out to everybody on a smart plan, but I want what the content of that link is to change for everybody. Yeah. And I was like, wait, that is possible. And we whipped this up. So like, come at me with really weird stuff, man, because I want to solve it.
Yeah, so just go ahead and put your phone number in the chat there, Dave.
And my last 4 digits of my social security number.
Yeah, go put that phone number in there. People, hit up Dave for all of your crazy tech ideas that Dave will look at. And much like the professor from Back to the Future, it just might work. He will make it happen.
Yeah.
But as we get closer to the,
he has the brains. I have the hair of that.
I'm just here with choppy internet connection, and I don't really bring much to the table here, so don't feel free to not email me at all. But guys, as we get close to wrapping up, any closing thoughts that we got today?
Be you.
Can you drop that in the comments? Your little list there that you have. The one that I love so much.
Yeah, sure. My untitled notepad thing. Comments. There we go. I can't put anything in the comments.
You gotta put it in on the actual Facebook post.
That's on the Facebook. As soon as the lab's done, as the
stream's over, come back to the video, and we'll put.
All right, I'll drop that in there.
Cool. All right.
Good deal.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
This has probably been our most ADHD off-topic filled one that we've done, and yet I really appreciate it. I think this is really, really cool. It's definitely higher level than what we've normally done, but thank you so much, David, for being on here. Not going to try to pronounce your last name. I forgot again. And it doesn't help that you did not put it in your tag here. So I just see Davey G. I got to go look up your name.
I like Davey G, to be honest.
Davey G.
Yeah.
Evan. Oh, and Davey, remind us again where you're from, what you do, and everything.
I'm from Santa Monica, yes, and I'm a director of operations for the P. Castro Group. And actually, I'm taking my real estate exam on the 7th of next month, so I'm pretty excited to get into this.
There we go.
Awesome. And we are allowed to talk about that, I guess. Unlike when Evan did that, you were not supposed to talk about it, and I publicly announced to everybody.
I was going to say, this is bringing back some memories.
Evan, remind everybody where you're from.
I am from Nashville, Tennessee. I do RE Tech Ninja consulting and technology, and MCTT work for various market centers, and proud Labs advisor alongside both of you two.
And we can now say that you are.
Yes, I am a licensed real estate agent here in Nashville as well.
Nice.
And my name is Joe McHugh. I am a realtor in Connecticut and Labs advisor and MCTT. On that note, guys, gals, thank you so much for being here and dealing with our.
Yeah, I ate a sea a lot. That's all my fault.
That's how I feel like I end all my conversations. Thank you for dealing with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, peace out, everybody. And yeah.